Israeli President Shimon Peres has once again pulled on the European Union's arm, calling for the blacklisting of the Lebanese resistance movement Hezbollah. Peres based his calls on what he described as Hezbollah's attacks on European soil. This not-so-old news was met with a similar stance earlier this week from the U.S. President's top counterterrorism advisor and nominee for leading the Central Intelligence Agency, John Brennan. Brennan had urged the European Union to take action against Hezbollah for what he described as the movement's destabilizing activities and its leader's active support of the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. The Israeli minister Avi Dachter's slamming of the European Union's delay in blacklisting Hezbollah this week as well have also raised eyebrows on what seems to be a joint campaign against the movement.
The
West and Israel are helplessly trying to blacklist Hezbollah in attempts to cripple the resistance movements. But the Europeans have quite the dilemma at hand because Hezbollah is represented in the Lebanese government, provides protection for UN peacekeepers in the south, and has a very wide popular base in Lebanon, Arab countries, and the entire world. Not to mention the Europeans lacking solid proof to justify such a move.
Moreover, this flood of statements against Hezbollah voiced by the United States and its allies in the region has raised questions on what exactly would be achieved if Hezbollah was indeed blacklisted by the EU.
It would be the beginning of a process if they were put on the EU list to have sanctions on them. The Israelis are on the defensive. Increasingly, they're fading, and the resistance led by Hamas, Islamic Jihad, Lebanon, Hezbollah, Syria, Iran is gaining ascendancy. So with respect to Europe, they're also losing ground. The Europeans are fed up, as the human rights reports are showing, and the activist community are now moving against Israel.
But that's not all. Last Wednesday, the Western-backed Bahraini monarchy accused Iran's Islamic Revolution Guard Corps and Lebanon's resistance movement of forming a cell to assassinate public figures in the Persian Gulf Kingdom. This accusation was slammed by the Bahraini opposition, described as an anticipated and orchestrated play by the government to avoid achieving popular demands. In his latest statement, Hezbollah's deputy chief Sheikh Naim Qassem referred to a global terror campaign run by the Israeli regime with aims at distracting the world from its atrocities and avenging its military losses against Hezbollah. Observers, though, have criticized what they described as the new twist to the tale, represented by some Arab countries being too ready to jump on the same boat with the US and Israel and taking part in this campaign. Altaf Ahmed, Press TV, Beirut.